So I've been waiting a few days to make any comments on the mass shooting that occurred in Atlanta and the metro area a few days ago, where 8 people, including 6 Asian victims, lost their lives. And they were all at massage parlors, one in Cherokee County and one in, I guess, Metro Atlanta. So I'm not sure it was Fulton or DeKalb. I think it's Fulton. So with that being said, that means both Fulton County and Cherokee County have what's called concurrent jurisdiction, because the acts of violence or the crimes occurred in separate jurisdictions. So both Cherokee and Fulton are able to press charges. I believe he's in custody in Cherokee at the moment. I'm not sure if they're going to consolidate their trials in the spirit of efficiency, or they're going to try him separately. Obviously, Georgia is a death penalty state, so the penalty for murder is can be either life without parole, LWOP, or death. Now, for a death sentence to be imposed, all 12 jurors have to agree, which has become increasingly difficult in the past years. There's a very famous case that happened right before I got to the DA's office. I started my legal career as a prosecutor in Fulton County back in 2011. And Brian Nichols had shot up the courthouse, shot a judge, court reporter, a bailiff, and I think 4 people died. And he didn't even get the death penalty because one person on that jury held out. But the more pressing issue is whether or not that this crime is going to be considered a hate crime. Because in the wake of the death of Ahmaud Arbery, the Georgia Senate passed a law, basically that's making hate crimes illegal. Now, this will be the first case where that law is tested. So let me just read it a little bit to you. So it is in the official code of Georgia annotated OCGA, and it's in section 17-10-17, and it basically provides for enhanced penalties if the trier of fact, which is the jury, determines beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant intentionally selected any victim or group of victims or any property as the object of the offense because of such victims or group of victims' actual or perceived race, color, religion, national origin, sex, sexual orientation, gender, mental disability, or physical disability. So let's stop there. So the Cherokee County Sheriff, or whoever was initiating the investigation in Cherokee County, made a statement. He's now since been removed from the investigation, and rightfully so, stating that the defendant, who I'm not going to name him because I believe he's been getting too much publicity at this point anyway, but that the defendant was having a bad day and, it's not a hate crime. He targeted them because of his sexual deviance. But intent can be shown by action. So even the intent required for murder, you really just have to prove either the intent to, so premeditation, or the intent to commit grievous bodily injury or death. So if you point a gun, so if you buy a gun, you lie in wait, you target specific massage parlors, you enter the massage parlor, you pull out the gun, you shoot the gun, you shoot and aim in the direction of a victim, the victim gets shot. The intent is obvious, but where the hate crime comes in is, did he kill those people because of either their race or their gender? I believe 6 of the 8 victims are Asian, I believe Chinese, if I'm not mistaken. But either or, and they were mostly women. I think one or two men got shot, but for the vast majority of victims were women. So this hate crime statute can be brought into play for the simple fact that he shot mostly women, and women were targeted. Now, they're going to probably have to do some more investigation. It'll probably come out either that he's a racist, he's probably a member of Parlor, or was a member of Parlor when it was still in existence, or, subreddits with racist epithets, or women bashing, women hating. So there's a way they can prove up the charge of the hate crime. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I believe the prosecutors will have a better shot at a gender hate crime as opposed to a race hate crime. But I mean, honestly, I think they should shoot for both. But the difference is, so if someone is convicted of a hate crime, it enhances their sentence. So what does that mean? So if you're convicted of the underlying crime, which is murder, and then additionally a hate crime, your sentence can be increased. So if it's a felony, they can increase the sentence normally imposed by the court through court policy or voluntary sentencing guidelines by up to 5 years, not to exceed the maximum authorized by law. So here's my thing. So if you're only for a felony, because a felony can be anywhere from 1 year to life in prison. So if you're only going to increase the penalty by 5 years, then where is the incentive not to commit hate crimes? Because, like, for instance, if you commit a hate crime that's a misdemeanor, the judge can only increase your sentence by 50% up to the maximum. So like for a misdemeanor, the maximum penalty is 12 months. So it just doesn't seem like it has much teeth, or it will deter criminals from committing hate crimes. Now let's read the federal statute. Under the federal statute for hate crimes, which is found in 18 USC section 249, so whoever, whether or not acting under the color of law, willfully causes bodily injury to any person or through the use of a firearm, dangerous weapon, or an explosive or incendiary device, attempts to cause bodily injury to any person because of the actual or perceived race, color, religion, or national origin of any person, shall be imprisoned not more than 10 years, fined in accordance with this title, or both, or shall be imprisoned for any term or of years or for life, fined in accordance with this title, or both, if death results from the offense, or the offense includes kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to kill. So basically, in order for the federal hate crime statute to apply, it has to either occur during the course of, as a result of travel of the defendant or the victim across the state line or national border using a channel, facility, instrumentality of interstate or foreign commerce. So basically, you pretty much have to cross state lines, and typically the feds get involved when 2 or more states are involved in a crime. So that's why people may be asking, why can't he be charged under the federal hate crime statute? It appears to me from my reading of this that there has to be either interstate commerce or some crossing of state lines during the crime. But at any rate, I really am hurt and saddened by the response of the Cherokee County Sheriff, but I'm not surprised. He also, in addition to speaking out about the defendant having a bad day, he also was selling shirts on his Facebook called, like, that said the China flu. So, I mean, he's like, so I'm glad he was removed, and rightfully so, but it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. My condolences to all of the family members of the victims, and I hope that this case sets a precedent that you can't commit hate crimes in Georgia.